we're going to look at a different model to see the same structures that we just saw. Now on this model, you'll notice it kind of looks like a pizza wedge slice, and we can see it from the top or from the side here. Now when we look at it from the top, we notice all of these big circular rings. These are the individual osteons, like we just saw in that previous model. Notice how in the center of each osteon we have our central canals. And if we look at the model from the side, we can see all of the central canals running up through that centrally located area on our osteon. Now if we set it back down here around our osteon, we have our concentric lamellae. Those are going around the central canal. And notice how each osteon has a different number of concentric lamellae. So they can vary between osteons. Now these two osteons here, they kind of look like cake toppers, but if we turn it from the side, we can see that each of these layers is one of our concentric lamellae. We've simply just pulled them up to show them off a little bit easier. One thing I always like to point out to students is notice how the collagen fibers run in alternating directions in each concentric lamellae. This increases the strength of compact bone because the fibers overlap one another. In between the concentric lamellae, we can see our lacunae, the small pits, and we can also, if we get really close, we can see those little canaliculi. Now this model shows us a couple of other structures that are present on compact bone. We can see our two membranes. This is the inside of the bone and this is the outside of the bone. If we look on the inside of the bone, notice this gray membrane here. This is called the endosteum. Endo means inside, osteo means bone, so inside bone membrane. Going around the outside, we have the periosteum. Peri means around, osteo means bone, so the periosteum is the membrane that goes around the entire outside of the bone. Now the periosteum is important because it's going to lay down new layers of bone, which we can see here. These are called the circumferential lamellae. And if I turn it on its side, you can see a couple of those circumferential lamellae have been pulled up and out of the model. Now, a circumference is the distance around a circle. So these circumferential lamellae travel around the entire circumference of the bone. So they go around the entire outside. There's two other structures we can see on this one, and we're going to see them by turning the model on its side. Notice how we have this blood vessel here that's traveling horizontally through the bone. This is called a perforating canal or Volkmann canal. This carries blood vessels and nerves into the bone and hooks up with each of these central canals. We can also see that our periosteum, this outer membrane, is held onto the bone by perforating fibers. The perforating fibers pierce into the bone and essentially anchor this in place. This is why when muscles and tendons pull on our periosteum, it doesn't just rip off of the bone.